In this video, I'd like to discuss when empowerment goes wrong. There are 5 main watch-outs to avoid crashing and burning before we even get going. The first is words over actions. It's easy to talk a good game, not so easy to walk the talk, particularly at the most senior levels in our organisations. Words must be followed by intentional actions, otherwise there is a risk of lip service only over progress and the whole thing stumbles to a halt. The second is dangerous first steps. This is where people, process and technology strengthen implementation resolve and success, ensuring that each element is fit for purpose and will enable the movement to distributed leadership rather than acting as a barrier to it. But when it goes wrong, we experience processes that haven't evolved to support the new approach, where people are not bought into the process or aware of what they need to do differently, and where supporting technology does not boost the effort, it overwhelms it, or is simply not right or fit for purpose that it is intended for. The third is about line management capability and momentum loss. This is the point at which strategic actions are completed and operational execution is started. In positive terms, if the other 2 points have been managed well, then we are already making good progress. That said, each stage in the journey will have its own challenges as much as opportunities. Therefore, as we get into more operational elements of making distributed leadership a reality, we must keep a close eye on progress and need our line management skilled up, providing coaching support and direction when required. We cannot continue to burden our managers with operational and administrative tasks, which have become the way for many organisations recently. We must invest in our management and give them the freedom to manage in an aligned and consistent way. After all, they'll be a critical component for success. Without them, we lose any early momentum and risk going back to how we used to do it. The fourth concern is all-level operational effectiveness and emerging roadblocks that could start to eat into the spirit of empowerment. Empowering others doesn't just happen. Offering greater autonomy for employees to think, act and do differently requires careful planning and management. Distributed leadership at all levels can be a huge benefit, but will fail if organisations do not build the new knowledge, skills and behaviours required to be leaders at any level. It comes with a need for budget, for resourcing and total commitment from leaders and line managers. With that, the organisational skills bench can be dramatically shifted. Without it, we risk headless chickens, running around the organisation, occasionally hitting the mark, but most likely doing damage, negatively impacting others, and potentially failing in all aspects of their role, not just the task at hand. The fifth and final part of where distributed leadership can go wrong is the management of ongoing growing pains and the old habits that are dying hard. This fifth element refers to what can happen in the medium to long term, once implementation has been a success and the cultural DNA of the organisation enables a strong autonomy at all levels and the reality of successful distributed leadership is being realised. This is simply just about managing ongoing growing pains and evolution pains. How do we keep building momentum? How do we adopt evolving best practices? How do we maintain leadership and management oversight while living the spirit and reality of distributed leadership, particularly when we have short-term targets to hit? How do we adapt, support and capture relevant data to help us evolve our approach and more? The organisation can actually slow down at this point if we're not careful. Consolidation is of course a key stop and very important as we unleash our inner CEOs, but can't be at the expense of progress, particularly when speed is the competitive currency of the day.